What's going on, guys? It's your boy Oh Gosh, and we are tuned in to your Heard Me podcast on Genasis TV. Let's get into it.
Look at my sauce, my drip. Look at my sauce and look at my drip. Look at my sauce and my drip.
Real quick. Oh, yeah, that's proper. Be straight.
Yeah.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy GMurg, aka Genasis TV. Today's episode, we have another luxury guest. We talking about producers from the Inland Empire. You can't leave him out. He's one of the biggest in the game. He's been doing it for 12 years. He produces, engineers, he's a songwriter, and produced for artists like Sonnie Babble, Curtis King, Cam Archer, NOAHJAMES, and even OT Genasis. Ladies and gentlemen, your boy, Oh Gosh.
What's going on, guys?
What's
It's your boy Oh
good,
Gosh.
What's up, man?
Can't
Shit.
complain, man. How you doing?
Good. Shit, well, tell the people where you from, man.
Well, you already know I'm from San Bernardino, California. You know, that's why, you're doing this. I've been out here pretty much all my life. Went to high school, elementary, all that good stuff. And yeah, man, just getting it in as much as I can.
Shit, man. Well, talk to us about how was it for you growing up? What kind of things did you get involved to? What were you involved in growing up in your childhood?
Man, my childhood was crazy. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have like the best of childhoods, but it was cool. I did a lot of skateboarding, a lot of just being outside, not wanting to be home. You know.
So you was always an outside person?
Yeah, like I was always very active, and but there was like reasons I not wanted to deal with like family stuff. So I was like, you know what? And I'm very like, what's the word I'm looking for? I compartmentalize a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I just always just like, let's go outside, and I forget about all the things that's going on at home. And then, that's pretty much that. Shit.
Did you have any like early on influences growing up? Like, was there like any music playing around growing up?
As far as music, not. Well, my grandma, she did music, but she didn't really like force me into it or like try to like get me into it. No, not really. I was the only person that was around me that did music, but it wasn't really a thing until like later on.
When was that?
Freshman year of high school was when I joined the high school drum line. I was actually in Vegas at the time. In 8th grade, so after 8th grade in the summertime, like summer break, that's when I got my first pair of drumsticks because I watched the movie Drumline. Yeah, I watched the movie Drumline. And then I was like, I want to join the high school drumline, so that's pretty much how that happened.
That movie encourages a lot of people to get into music.
Crazy. Shout out Nick Cannon.
Hell yeah. Sid, like, what kind of instruments did you play besides the drums? Because I know you said you play other instruments as well.
So at first I started off on drums. I didn't get into playing keys until like I got into production. And I also play bass guitar a tad bit. Okay. And I'm just now learning how to play guitar.
Okay. Well, now that you're saying that you got into playing the keys and all that afterwards when you got into production, was a transition from playing like the instruments to making like beats and all that? Was that frustrating at first, or because you already had a feel for playing instruments, it just came natural to you?
Yes and no. And the reason why it was frustrating because I was trying to make beats and I just did not know what the heck I was doing as far as like, plugging in notes and like putting sounds in the right places. So I was like, you know what? Let me actually go ahead and learn how to play keys. And then I knew like the rhythms is like or like the melodies that I wanted to create, and that was because of drums. So that helped me out a lot, but I had to get into keys in order for me to make the stuff that I'm making now. And even then, I was just like, man, like I have so many ideas and I can't do nothing because I don't know nothing about a C major or C minor scale or stuff like that.
Sure. Talk about the process of what it's like to like getting to understand that.
Man, most of my knowledge when it comes to notation and playing piano is self-taught. But what I can say is my process in learning was learning scales and numbers and like the intervals of like and when I say numbers I mean like learning the intervals between each note to like know the scales and stuff like that, like not just like just playing chords and just kind of just playing songs and stuff like that. I wanted to understand what I was playing and things like that.
That's hard. So what's the type of atmosphere like that you have to be in when you want to create music? Obviously, we're in this studio of yours. This shit legit.
Thanks,
You know
man.
what I
Thank
mean?
you.
You even say so. Everybody come in here and say it's proper.
Mm-hmm.
So like, what kind of like atmosphere do you have to be in, like headspace when you're about to create?
Man, I mean, it's at home, so it's literally whenever, and however. I mean, most of the time, as long as I ain't got shit to do around the house, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, it's at home, so I got cats, I got my girl. As long as they cool and not bugging me, that's enough for me.
So like, when you're working on creating like beats by yourself, is your taste and your inspirations what you see in the world and the experience, right? But when you create with an artist, what's that like? What's that communication like when you're working with an artist? When you're making a beat for them, is there a specific thing that you look for, that you try to tell them, or is more so like what they want and you just doing it for them?
I mean, I kind of want to tap into their world and try to understand what they want musically, and then, once we get that out the way, that's when I'm like, I'm gonna put my foot in and put in my 2 cents and be like, okay, cool, we're gonna do that, but this is where I'm gonna take it. You know what I'm saying? And it always works out 99% of the time, because they'll come in and want a certain type of beat or a certain type of song because of what they've been listening to. But I don't want them to copy those artists and those songs, you know what I'm saying?
You try to encourage them to go different.
Yeah, because they're trying to become an artist themselves, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's important for me to, obviously take the influence of those particular records that they're trying to do, but let's make it you. You know what I'm saying? Let's make it us.
And do you feel like that's big when it comes to being a producer? Like, just
absolutely.
Being, it's like you're like a coach at a sense. Yeah. Because like you want to make sure that you're just not putting any type of artist on your type of beat.
That's what a producer is. I know people have like this whole thing with producers, producers and beat makers. Like, I consider myself a producer because of that, because I'm able to like coach the record and help out like with structuring and like telling the artist like, yo, make sure you give the verse more energy and things of that nature, instead of just like making the beat and be like, here you go take it and record it somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's pretty much that, man.
Who are some type of like artists that you worked with and you feel like there's a connection when you work with them in the studio all the time?
The homie Cam Archer, the homie Ro. Those are probably like the 2 dopest artists I work with. Oh, and the homie Nicholas Gray. They're super. They know what they want. Super quick.
So you already have the sense for it.
Like, yeah, our chemistry is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
You already have some shit for them sometimes when they come in. Like, here's a pack, just choose, or with them sometimes it's like from scratch.
It's most of the time from scratch, but there'll be times where I'm just like, yo, I made something. You should hop on this. You know what I'm saying? So like, those artists right there are the ones that I'm like always vibing with. And the homie Nabin as well. He was just here. You saw. Yeah. Me and him vibe like crazy.
Yeah, you guys have a project together, correct?
Yes, called Patek.
Shit, talk about that. How that came about?
Man,
because he's also another big producer out in the Empire, right?
Yes.
You mentioned earlier he had a placement on.
Yeah, he was on the Drake album. What album was that? I always forget, but the song's called Nothing Into Somethings.
Okay, that's hard.
But yeah, that's my homie. That's my brother. I love that dude to death. But anywho, yeah, he's another big producer in the IE. What was I gonna say? Yeah, our chemistry is just crazy, man. Like we could work off 2 laptops, not even be synced, and we just know exactly what we're trying to do. We don't even say nothing. We just be adding stuff to the beats and just going crazy. And like that project in particular, we just like made a bunch of beats one summer, like 2013, and it was like, bro, what are we doing with these beats? Like,
you might as well put them out.
Yeah, let's put them out. And then we did like add a couple new things in there, but all of those beats were like between 2013, 2016, I want to say.
Was Chop Suey? Is that one of them?
Chop Suey is one of them, yeah.
Yeah, that motherfucker hard.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
I was in there in the car like, shit, let me hop on this motherfucker. Like, this shit go down.
Oh, yeah, man.
Shit, do you think that's important, like, when you have that artist and producer chemistry versus just, you know what I'm saying, going in and, you know, producing for different artists? Mm-hmm. Because in a sense, you want to come in and just get shit done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And some artists kind of be just dangling around wasting their time.
Yeah.
What's your approach on that when you come in the studio and you see that, 9 times out of 10 somebody might not be as serious? What's your approach on that?
At this point in my career, if they don't take music serious as much as I do, and they don't have like the work ethic or like, I'm not gonna say the speed because that's not fair because I can work really fast. Like, but if they're not up to par, like I'm not even gonna waste my time. And like sometimes I'll budge because I'm super nice, so like I'll budge and like, like okay, let's get this ball rolling. Like, let's keep getting it. Let's keep trying until we get it, or if I just sense that they're just like playing around with it or whatever, or like not, doing what they should be doing, like, I don't want to waste my time. Like, chemistry is #1 for me. Like, vibes and chemistry. You know what I'm saying? I've already created the vibe in here.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So don't, just come in here and just be chilling. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to it.
Come here and get to work.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Shit, well, you've been doing it for 12 years, and do you remember when you first started, how it was like for you? Talk about that experience.
Man, so I started making beats in 2007.
2007?
Yeah. 2007 was when a decade and a couple years. Yeah, a decade and some change. So I was living in Rialto at the time. I got a copy of FL Studio. I got like the demo version, and I wasn't really taking it serious. I was just playing around with it. It was just fun because I knew how to play drums, and like when marching band season wasn't in, I was like, I want to do music still. You know what I'm saying? So I found out about that program, got into it. But like I said, I didn't take it serious until like 2009. I graduated high school. I sold a beat on graduation day.
Word.
Like after like I walked and all my family, was celebrating and stuff. We go back to the crib, and one of the homie, or the homie that bought the beat was also at my graduation. He's like, bro, let's go back to your crib. I want to hear some of your beats. And then I sold my first beat when we got back to the crib. So that was when I was like, okay, this is it. This is probably what I should be doing.
And what started happening after that? Like, who did you start working with? Who did you start getting in contact with to continue to go forward?
I wasn't really working with a lot of people after that. I was working with him actually, but like I didn't know how to put myself out there. Like I think MySpace was popping at the time, and Facebook was MySpace. MySpace, the classic. But yeah, MySpace was in. I barely made a Facebook, I want to say, at that time, but I just didn't know how to reach out to people. I didn't know how to talk to people. Like
marketing wasn't there like that.
Yeah, like it was terrible. For me at least, it was just bad for me. Like I'm very introverted. Well, at the time, I was super introverted. Like, I didn't, like, talk to nobody.
Antisocial and shit.
Yeah, like, low-key antisocial. So, like, I didn't really, go ham with that. But I did start working with, like, a couple artists, like, that I did know, just, like, kind of practice and, like, try to build with them and stuff like that.
That's hard. So, in the span of that, when did you start? When was the first time that you got your big placement on a big record?
First placement... Damn,
how did you lead up to that?
Damn.
What made them see that, to give you the opportunity?
Damn, what was my first placement? That is a good question. I want to say my first placement was with this group called Jack and Jack.
Jack and Jack?
Yeah. So they're these two white kids from Nebraska. Super dope too, by the way. Like, they make like urban, like R&B and like,
They popping out there and shit.
Yeah. So I made a record for them, and I got that check, and I was like, yeah, this is. I still want to do this. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a point in time where I was just like, man, maybe I should just go back to school and just, work a job or stuff like that. But that kind of brought me back in, and I wasn't making a lot of money at the time. Like, I was still, selling beats to the homies and like.
They reached out to you to get that placement?
So I got the placement through the homie Firstborn. So like another producer that I work with that I collab with, and I don't know how the situation went down, but he knew like their management or something like that, and they reached out to him, and then we had a track together that he played that they liked. So that's how that came about.
That's hard. Hell yeah. Well, shit. One thing that really intrigued me was like when OT came out with Bae, bro. Mm-hmm. I was like, that motherfucker hard.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
And then obviously Sonnie, that's a good friend of mine, childhood friend. and we're shooting a documentary, the point of view documentary for Sonnie,
Mm-hmm.
and we run into you, and he was like, yeah, bro, he produced the BAE joint, but I looked into it, and it was a collaborative joint, right? Mm-hmm. So Audio King, Mike Free, AG, and yourself.
Yeah.
How did that come about? At OTs, people reached out to you, or like the producers at that time who was working was like, we gotta get this dude to hop in.
That situation's crazy. So, okay, so Audio King, the homie Audio King, we just like, I don't know if I contacted him or if he hit me. He's like, bro, let's just make some beats together. I was like, all right, bet. So I pulled up to his studio, and we made like, I want to say like 6-7 beats that day, right? It wasn't even a plan to like give it to anybody. I mean, obviously that's the end goal, but like we were just vibing, just making beats. You know what I'm saying? And then I would say like 2 weeks to a month later, he hits me back, yo, we got a record with OT, and I was like, what? And he sent me the record, and I was like, oh shit. And that's when he told me, yeah, also Mike Free and AG got on it. And I was like, okay, bet, that's cool. And then I think a month after that, it actually came out. Like, it all happened so quickly. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it was like,
so you did it at home?
No, we did it at his crib. Not his crib, his studio. And actually, no, what happened was, we did it at his studio, made a bunch of beats. That happened to be the one of them that he had sent to Mike Free. Mike Free is the one that actually made the play. He knows a lot of people. I don't know if he still works with DJ Mustard, but he used to work with DJ Mustard a lot back in the day. So, you know, in the midst of that, he's, you know, I'm assuming he got a lot of connections, and then he made that happen. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's pretty much how that worked out. Like,
shit. When you heard that shit on the radio, what was like your impression?
Bro, you know what's crazy? So I don't even listen to the radio, and one day I was like, you know what? I should turn on the radio just to see if it comes on. And I listened to, so it was one song that came on, I don't remember what song it was, and then the next song was that song, right? And there's a couple times where I went to the mall, and they're playing it like at Shoe Palace and stuff like that, and I was like, that's my shit.
That's your shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my,
what part of the beat did you do?
I did the drums and the bass line.
Cause I was looking into your work, and you're really sick when it comes to the drum shit.
Yeah, thanks.
Like, I seen your YouTube channel too, how you be like, oh, like, let me teach folks how to do this drum kit stuff. So like, do you feel like that all came naturally because you did drums in high school and stuff like that?
Oh, band? Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say that if I wasn't in band, like, I probably wouldn't be producing, but
that kind of
I probably wouldn't be as good as I am now. You know what I'm saying? Is
it any different? Obviously, it's different, but the sounds are almost similar. So
in a sense, yeah. As far as like the rhythm part of it, and like, you know, just understanding where to place drums and stuff, like that definitely helped out.
Shit. Like, how's it been like working so far in 2019? What's that year been like for you?
Man, 2019. So, yeah, it was definitely a roller coaster, man. Like, I quit my job in May.
Big risk.
Huh?
Big risk, huh?
Yeah, that was the craziest risk. I mean, I've done it before, but this time it was like, I had an apartment, you know, I had all these bills, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm ready to actually try and, you know, quit and just go full-time music. Yeah. Because, like, every time I did do that when I had jobs back then, before 2019, like, I'd work a job for like a year or two, quit, and then just sell beats to the homies and stuff like that for like a year. Then I'm like, dang, I need more money. Yeah. Let me go ahead and get a job, and then do that cycle all over again. So that time, 2019 in May, I quit. No, I quit in 2018. I'm sorry, 2018 of May, I quit. And then I've been doing full-time music ever since. So 2019 was just like my first year, like, okay, cool, let's...
Really committed to the grind.
Yeah, so, and then I got this apartment or the studio now. And
all the chips started falling in place afterwards.
Yeah, everything just started working out.
What was it that like told you, like, you know what, bro, I could really do this, like, fuck all this little side job shit?
Not wanting to go to work.
That'd be the motivation.
Bro, so that morning...
Corporate America.
Bro, seriously. That morning I quit, so I woke, because I was getting up at 4 o'clock every morning, because my work shifts from 5 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. From Monday through Thursday in Rialto. So I didn't drive far or anything like that. So I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, bro. I sat at the edge of my bed. I was like... I literally checked my bank account, and I was like, I don't need this shit. I went right back to sleep. I dead ass went right back to sleep. I was like, I'm not doing it. And then I woke up like hours later, like, damn, I didn't go to work today. And then I called my job and told them, like, yeah, I'm not coming back. Like, I'm cool.
They wasn't tripping and shit?
No, they was tripping. They knew I was, like, I was a good worker there, but they knew what I was into. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and when they see that, it's like, you know what, let him do his shit.
Yeah, because
he got something going.
Yeah, they knew I didn't belong there. I don't think anybody belonged where I was working. But, yeah, it was one of those things where, like, they just knew. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I made it happen, and I've been gone ever since.
Well, shit, that whole 2019 year, like you said, was a roller coaster. Like, I'm sure you did shows and you had gigs and stuff, correct?
Mm-hmm.
How was that for you? And, like, you know, did you book your own stuff? Are you your own, like, brand, or do you have a management team?
So I do have 2 managers, actually. But as far as, like, the shows, it was just people hitting me up like, yo, you want to do a showcase here? You want to do a showcase there? Bada boom,
And
bada
this
bang.
is like promoters hitting you up, or these are like other producers and stuff like that?
Yeah, well, a little bit of both. But mainly, promoters. Like, they'll just hit me like, yo, you want to do a showcase? Or I'm playing drums for one of the homies.
How important do you think that is as a producer, going out there and showing your face and letting people know that you do this type of music?
I definitely think it's important, only because, you know, since producers are already in the background, you know, I think it's definitely important to get to know, you know, know your audience, and then know, like, the people that you're working with, instead of just, like, sending stuff to people, and then, like, really showing that, like, you're into, like, making beats, because there's a lot of people that do this, and they're not really into it. They're just doing it because, like, it works for them and makes them bread. But
some quick money.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I definitely think it's important, man. Like, yeah, it's important to get out into your music community if you can. I mean, internet is a powerful place, but yeah.
I was just going to say that was actually my next question is, like, how important do you think it is because you were talking about how producers are already in the background, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we living in a generation where, like, producers is, like, basically an artist now,
mm-hmm.
right? You see, like, YG featuring Mustard, right? How important do you think it is for a producer to market themselves correctly in this era to get that respect like they're an artist?
You know, that's a dope example as far as the YG featuring Mustard, because I feel like a lot of, like, around, I don't remember what year it was, but there was a point in time where, like, producers weren't, like, getting paid. They weren't, like, getting the recognition that they deserved and the credibility and all the accolades and stuff like that. So, like, now that we have the power to, like, you know, we pretty much have the power to create.
Because y'all essentially the ones creating the music for the artists.
Right, exactly. We're the ones that's, like, sculpting the sound of music nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we were obviously doing that before, but now it's like we're able to really take control of that and really own it. It's kind of like, this is funny. It's kind of like, you know, how women have like their the women rights, like their feminism shit.
Well, this is the producers' rights.
Like, yeah, exactly. Yeah, producers' rights. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I fuck with that, how women are, like, you know, they're standing up for themselves and shit like that. Producers kind of do the same thing. Like, you know, like,
Facts.
I want my bread, I want my accolades, like, I deserve the shit as much as the artists do. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for me, your song wouldn't be signed the way it sounds.
It's crazy, too, because, like, I haven't really, like, when I started seeing that change was when Metro came out.
Yes.
Boomin.
Yeah, around that time is when it started going crazy.
And it's funny, because I was telling people that the other day, it was, like, one of the homies was talking about, like, he was like, when did producers start actually, like, putting their names out there like that, like artists? I was like, bro, I ain't gonna lie, I don't know, you know what I'm saying, don't quote me on this, but I don't know if it was him first, but that's when I first started seeing it. And I feel like after that, every producer was like, all right, bet, Metro doing that shit, nigga, we finna have a tagline too, and beat before every beat, and we finna start putting ourselves like an artist.
Hell yeah.
Do you feel like that was, like, pretty dope? Like, he opened the gate for a lot of producers?
Yeah, for sure, because, like, now, you know, we have all these crazy producer communities online where, you know, we're able to reach out to, like, certain producers and everybody's, like, talking to each other. Like, I went to a producer, like meetup a month ago, bro, and it was, like, you know, and this group called Cymatics, you know what I'm saying? And they're super tuned into the producer community, and they're always giving away, like, free shit, because they, like, know it's hard out here for a producer to, like, get the recognition that they deserve and, like, actually be able to, like, develop their sound. Because, like, without an artist, I'm not gonna say you need an artist to, like, develop a sound, but it definitely helps to, like, learn how to, like, you know, to, like, interact with people and, like, create actual records and, like, you know, just getting in tune with, like, a personality. You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, it's like, okay, now that we can do that, let's go ahead and, you know, become somewhat of an artist ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's actually, you know, get out there and make shit happen for ourselves. And we pretty much like just gained a lot of confidence now because of like around that time, as far as like the Metro Boomins and the Mussards. Like, we got a lot of confidence from those guys. So like, you know, let's be the forefront now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So like going into your influences, like who are your influences in producing? You know, who kind of gave you that, like, okay, I want my sound to be like kind of like this, but I'm gonna put my spice to it. Yeah. You know, growing up, who were the like top producers you really fucked with heavy?
Man, J Dilla, Flying Lotus, Pharrell, Timbaland.
Pharrell crazy.
Pharrell, I want to say Pharrell
is enough respect.
Pharrell, bro, you know how many records that he's done?
Bro, that's what I'm saying. He did a lot of pop shit I never heard, but it'd be like, if in my life when I tap into
just go to Pharrell's Wikipedia and look at his discography and what he's done. There's a point in time where he had 43% of the radio in a year. Yeah. Like, you turn your radio on, 43% of the chance it's his song that it's either his song, like he's rapping or singing, or he produced it. You know what I'm saying? So I want to say Pharrell is high key number one for me. It's between him and Timbaland, because Timbaland is crazy too.
That's what I was just gonna say. Tim, Dre,
yeah, bro,
and him, like, I think, or in Scott.
Scott Storch.
Yeah, Storch. He's crazy too.
Battle Cat. That's like a West Coast legend.
Fucking DJ Quick.
DJ Quick, yeah, he's fire too. Yeah,
I like how he makes you feel like you in a car with him. Yeah. All his records make you feel like that. Oh yeah. Like you just in a old school, just cruising and some shit.
Oh yeah. No, I fuck with DJ Quick, because because of that, like, he's always just like very in tune with, like, he seems like he's really into what he does. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
He's like Dre. He really like, okay, we gonna turn these nods and shit and make this shit crystal clear. Yeah. Like I think I seen an interview with The Game where he had mentioned that he was like, Quit is like Dre, like they're like the same when it comes to the producing. Mm-hmm. But how much of the game do you think has changed from that time to now? Obviously, you're one of the dopest producers in the game in this generation. So, you know, you've been in the game for a decade and some change, like you said. What's the change in music that you see? You know, and where's the direction of music, where it's going now? And as a producer, how do you feel about it?
I think I'm actually trying to figure that out myself. I mean, I definitely think there's success for producers now, or a lot more success that can be accomplished nowadays for producers, because, you know, we have the internet, you know, the culture of music is shifting, and, like, you know, what we're capable of doing, because, like I said, we hold a lot of power in this music industry nowadays. Like, we can really make a lot of moves, but I feel like that low-key kind of died down, you know, from like how we mentioned like the Metro Boomins and the Mussards and all that stuff kind of had like the forefront shit. I feel like that's kind of like dying down in a sense, but I honestly don't know where it's gonna go from here now. You know what I'm saying?
Because it's always evolving. It's always changing every fucking every second.
The music business changes a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always something going on, something just, you know. Yeah, something's always just changing. Yeah, so what are some things that you've been working on in the past year and then now going into 2020? What are some things you're very excited about? So I've been working a lot on songwriting. I actually just dropped a record today with the homie Decap and this dude named, I don't know how to say his name. It's spelled Hxry. But I rapped on it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So,
and talk a little bit about that, because you are a producer, but you've been doing a lot. You've been trying to get on some tracks now.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's fun.
Because on that I think that album you did on Apple Music with Nabi, you said nobody used this track for a long time, so we gonna use it, and you started spitting on there.
Yeah, dude. Like, we was playing around at that time, and we just kept it. It was like, you know, we're just gonna go ahead and put this out. But yeah, dude, I've been toying with it a lot more as of lately. I've been like kind of finding my voice, because I don't like the way my voice sounds recorded. Okay. My voice is like mad deep, so I'm just like, I don't like it. But
you using autotune?
Low key. But, you know, I've been getting into it, and that's gonna be something that I kind of tap into a lot more now in 2020. And then other than that, I do have a project coming out I want to say March. It's called Neck Brace Not Included. So it's going to be a beat tape, but there will be songs on there that I also do rap on, and I have other records with other people on there as well. So the type of music that the people there listen to they're like the EDM, like the selection, jazzy type stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
like that really rhythm shit, they just want to jump and shit and have some fun.
Exactly. So.
But you got some beats that's actually that's like that.
Yeah.
And but I fuck with your shit because like you have a lot of that 808 sound.
Yeah.
And I fuck with that because I'm the type of guy I like to have my speakers bumping in the car and shit. I like to hear that. But do you essentially switch up your flow at certain times, or that's just more so like in the mood when you're gonna switch it up?
It's more so a mood thing, like, and I think every producer is like this. I don't think anybody really goes in. Like, they get on their computer and like, okay, let's go ahead and make a trap beat. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where, unless that's all you're capable of doing, because there is a point in time for producers where that's all they're able to make.
Because that's what I'm saying, because there's some producers, like, so you'll know, like, some producers are just good at this specific sound. Yeah. And when they trying to go over to this sound, it's just like, I kind of go back to that one. Yeah. Like, do you have your set sound?
I don't think.
Or do you feel like you're very versatile?
I'm going to say I'm versatile. And I'm very confident to say that because, like, since I understand music and been around it for as long as I have been, like, it's easy for me to create anything. You know what I'm saying? So, like, how I was explaining earlier, how I feel like producers really don't, like, know what they want to create, or they don't particularly just, like, go on their computer and be like, oh, I'm going to make a trap beat. I'm going to make, like, a 90s hip-hop beat. Like, it's like whatever sounds, when you're going through your sounds on your computer, it's whatever you find that clicks. And it's like, okay, I know exactly what I want to do with that. And that's that's usually how it works for me. I'm going to speak for myself. Yeah. I'll just, whatever sounds that I find first, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to go with that. And then I'll find my tempo and, go ahead from there.
No, that's smooth. Shit, well, besides working on music, is there any like business ventures that you're getting into? You know, being in the game for a long time, obviously the music, the creativity's there, but over time you want to, expand your brand. You want to be able to create a company or whatnot, or label. Is there is there a potential chance of you creating a label and signing some artists?
Man, that has definitely been an idea. At this point, I probably wouldn't do it for a minute because I want to still develop,
yourself.
Develop myself, develop my brand, but that is definitely an idea because I work with a lot of people out here, and I want to continue to work with people. Excuse me, but I just want to kind of I want to be able to have a platform to put people on instead of just like, let's just start a label from the ground up and do our thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm 28. I'm not gonna be doing music forever. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
you definitely want to get your stamp up in the game.
Yeah, get my stamp up. Just have a foundation to where when I do decide to go that route, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm able to put this person here and be able to get this person this amount of this, and that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to just do something just because it's a dope idea. And then also, I just started, me and the homie Curtis King just started a website called Slap Experts.
What's that about?
So Slap Experts is pretty much a website where you can get like custom drum kits and sound kits that he, or me or him, and anybody else that kind of volunteers to like put kits together. So that's also another business venture. And like a lot of sounds on there are for like super tight, like they're like fresh, like no recycled drums or anything like that. And a lot of the kits on there are free. So if you're trying to get into beats, just go on slapexperts.com and just download them. You can make beats all day.
Oh, that's hard. Being a producer, you're not just a producer. You engineer as well, and you're a songwriter, and you do all these things, right? Do you feel like it was important for you as a producer to not just focus on that? You wanted to be able to have a check mark all across the board, so when you work, people know that you were capable of doing all these things?
I mean, I definitely think it's important to focus on something that you really enjoy doing. Like with me, like I don't like engineering, but I'll do it if I have to.
Is that shit harder than producing?
Yes, for sure. I mean, at least for me, yeah. I mean, they're both easy for me now, but at the time when I got into it was definitely hard. But I enjoy producing more than I like engineering. Like that was the first thing I did. And the only reason why I got into engineering is because it made me money. And a lot of people surprisingly needed recording, so I was like, I got a mic here, I got the computer, let's get it cracking. Yeah, man, producing is that's my forte.
What made you want to really invest in yourself over the time of your career?
Man, well, like I said, when I got into it, I didn't really take it serious until I sold my first beat that day. And then I remember the first day, I'll take it back to college. So I went to Chafee, and I got my FAFSA check, right? So I got my FAFSA check, I'm like, okay, bet, I got a few $1,000s. Let me go ahead and, get, some stuff from my room, because I was staying with my parents at the time.
Yeah.
And, like, I think at the time, all I had was, like, I had some house speakers. I had this old-ass computer. Like, it was trash, bro. It was terrible. Like, my setup was boo-boo. And then I got that FAFSA check. I'm like, all right, bet. Let's go ahead and, I went to Best Buy. I bought a laptop. I bought, like, a whole bunch of cables for, like, the speakers and stuff like that. Like, and I remember just being so excited. I'm like, I'm really doing this shit. Like, I'm really about to build this, from the ground up type stuff. So I was like, yeah. At that moment, sitting at that setup that I had at the time, I was like, yeah, bro, I can't do anything else. And I was still going to school, like, but I wasn't taking it as serious as I did music. Like, music was just it.
Yeah, I'm the same way, bro. I be in class like, fuck this. I'm finna keep hustling on my shit.
My thing is, bro, like, I don't knock school. It's just that, because I went to school up until a point where I was just like, okay.
You making, like...
I'm making money now, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't making a lot, because I did eventually go back to school. But I remember...
at that time, it's like, if you didn't take that opportunity, you might have slid.
Yeah, it was one particular opportunity that, like, kind of got me out of school. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was going to school. I think I went for, like, 4 years straight. And, like, I linked up with Firstborn, which the dude that got me my first placement. And then after that, he, like, kind of... Like, he was, like, my big bro, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? He, like, showed me around and, like, got me into these meetings and, like, brought me to all these big-ass studios and stuff. And that's when I was like, wow, this shit is real. Like, this is something I see on TV. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I was like, okay, I'm going to start going to school. And it's history from there.
Yeah. Well, you talked about how you put money into this because you wanted to give people that experience. Mm-hmm. You feel me? And has that made people want to keep coming back to you and wanting to create?
For sure.
Not just because of your sound, but just the environment.
Yeah, I think that was another reason why I did it too, man. For the environment to make them feel like they're in a real studio, which it is.
Yeah, because I've been to a studio in North Hollywood, bro. This was actually almost the same size as one.
Yeah.
And you got pretty much good shit in here as well. Like,
thanks, man. I appreciate it. But I'm such a mogul when it comes to this stuff, man. Like, I love gear. I just love, audio shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is I'm an enthusiast when it comes to this stuff. So, like, I'm always on YouTube watching videos on, like, the new equipment coming out. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm into this stuff. So, besides, like, giving people the experience and just, like, buying it just so it looks good, like, I really enjoy all the stuff that I have in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love it, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah. Shit. Well, man, we're going to wrap it up real quick, man. Is there anything you want to... What's ahead of you this year in 2020? What are you looking forward, and what's your motivation this year? What's different this year that you really want to do from the years before?
I want to double, triple my income. I want to double, triple my income because yeah, man, I think I can really make it happen with the things that I know now. So that's really what I'm gonna focus on, is like my whole business ventures that I mentioned earlier, and just put out more music, man, and just so people can just stay in tune with what I got going on. You know what I'm saying? Anybody big in the city you looking forward to work with? Man, I never. It's such a fucked up answer, but I don't really look forward to working with people unless I'm with them. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like,
might even come naturally.
Yeah, like if it happens, it happens. You know what I'm saying? If we vibe, cool. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to like force myself into a situation and it's like, damn, I wish I didn't do this. You know?
I feel that.
Yeah, I've been in too many situations like that. So now I'm just like, if you reach out, unless I'm really okay, yeah, I want to fuck with you. But nobody really has given me that feeling in a long time. You know what I'm saying? So I've worked with several people out here. You know what I'm saying? So
Hell yeah.
yeah, man. That's pretty much that, dude.
That's cool. That's
Just
cool.
make more money, put out more music. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Hell yeah. Shit, any shout outs, anything you want to say before we close this out?
Man, sheesh. Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, man.
Much love, man. Appreciate you for having me here.
Of course, man. Well, thank you guys for watching. For one, I appreciate this guy, inviting me on here. And, yeah, all success 2020 for everyone.
That part.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Hey, it's your boy GMurg. Got Oh Gosh. And y'all tuning into the You Heard Me podcast. Make sure y'all check the link down below so y'all can see it in the 7 different platforms we have it on. It's your boy. You're dead.
My guy.